The Chicago Bears are coming off their second straight loss, and this time it was against the New Orleans Saints, but the Bears should know time waits for no one. So you got to forget about it and move on to the next game as the Bears play the Tennessee Titans this week. So I'm here to break down that game for you guys. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. And make sure to go ahead and subscribe if you have not done so already. I bring you the latest, greatest, and best Bears content on YouTube. I can promise you that. Not just Bears, NFL as well. Make sure to hit that big red subscribe button like I mentioned. Hit the bell icon to be notified every time I drop a new video because I do so every single week and pretty much every single day. And make sure to follow me on my social media, guys. Links down below and on the screen for my Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. Questions, whatever you guys need from me, reach out to me on there. So with that being said, a lot to talk to with this game. We're going to talk about matchups, what I like, what I don't like, talk about the spread, everything. And then at the end, I'm going to give you a winner for this game as well as a final prediction score. So with that being said, let's get into it. So as we always do, let us start with the numbers here, and we'll start with the spread, which is -6 in favor of the Tennessee Titans. So they are big favorites in this game at home, almost a touchdown favorite. And you know what? A few weeks ago in the season, I would have complained saying the Bears aren't getting much respect, but you know what? To heck with it. I don't care about respect. I just care about the Bears winning and coming off of 2 straight losses. I can't say the Bears should be favored in this one because they really shouldn't, okay? Do I like the -6 for the Titans? I think it's a little bit too much, but I'm not going to complain too much about it, okay? It is what it is. The Titans should be favored. They're at home. They're 5-2. The Bears are 5-3, so they've got the better record as well. So I'm not going to complain too much about the spread, all right? So let's take a look at the Titans at a deeper level. They're 5-2, like I mentioned, but who have they beaten, right? Who have you beaten? Just like I picked apart the Bears' schedule early in the year and wanted to see, okay, who have the Bears beaten? And people were saying the Bears hadn't beaten anybody, but obviously you can't say that because they did beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which was a good quality victory, but I digress. Let's take a look at the Tennessee Titans. 5-2, they've beaten the Broncos in Denver. Okay, the Broncos are decent. I wouldn't even say they're a playoff team, but they're not a bottom feeder like the Jets or the Giants or nothing like that. Okay, so then they beat the Jaguars. Not impressive at home. Then they beat the Minnesota Vikings in Minnesota. I'd say that's okay, similar to the Denver Broncos. The Vikings, again, have been abysmal. They had obviously a nice win against Packers last week, but again, outside of that, they've looked awful. The Buffalo Bills at home, they beat the Buffalo Bills. That was an impressive victory. The Bills are a playoff team, legit playoff team. I'll give them that, all right? Then they beat the Texans, a divisional rival. Okay, the Texans haven't done well this year, but they're still decent. Deshaun Watson, obviously, you got to respect him. Then their 2 losses came in their last 2 games. So just like the Bears, they're coming off of 2 straight losses against the Pittsburgh Steelers. No shame in that. The Steelers are undefeated. They are arguably the best team overall, if not for the Kansas City Chiefs, but they are certainly the best team record-wise. And then here's the one that's a head-scratcher. They lose last week to the Cincinnati Bengals, all right? That's where I kind of step back and I'm like, okay, that's a problem because everybody, including myself, expected them to beat the Cincinnati Bengals, and I lost a lot of money because I did have the Titans beating the Bengals, and they didn't. They lost. All right, I get it was in Cincinnati, but the Bengals are not in the same caliber of the Titans. They should have won that game. The Titans should have, okay? So 5-2, and their record, in terms of, who they've beaten, it's okay. Nothing great, nothing too bad, all right? And in terms of, obviously, how to attack this team, I always talk about funnels. You guys should know this by now. Seeing if there's a weakness here. 11th overall. Defensively, 11th versus the pass, 10th versus the rush. There's no funnel. They're pretty decent, I guess. But I would say overall they're pretty mediocre in terms of their defense. You've seen, obviously, the Bengals last week put up a decent amount of points on them. So you can score on this Titans team, absolutely. But the thing you have to understand is, even though you can score on this Titans team because their defense isn't very good, they can obviously score as well on you because they've got a pretty potent offense, okay? led by Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill. And here's the thing with the Tennessee Titans. My first key, by far the most important one, is you got to pick your poison, okay, with the Tennessee Titans. And you might be thinking, okay, Faiz, Derrick Henry, I mean, we're talking about one of the best running backs in the NFL, the big dog. Anytime he wants to eat, he's throwing guys around. He eats them up. I mean, he just destroys teams. He's stiff-arming people. Like, Derrick Henry's a monster, okay? So you got Derrick Henry, but then you're saying pick your poison, Faiz, with Ryan Tannehill? Yes, Ryan Tannehill, who has become a very good quality starting quarterback in this league. Ryan Tannehill's stats on the year, folks, let me just read them out to you guys. Close to, a little over 1,800 yards, 17 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. If Nick Foles had those numbers, the Bears would be undefeated right now. I'm serious, okay? So Ryan Tannehill's played very well, okay? Make no mistake about it. And he's been playing well for about a season now. Like, going back to last season, they obviously got far in the playoffs against the Chiefs is who beat them. And so Ryan Tannehill's played well. But if I had to pick my poison between Tannehill and Henry, give me Tannehill all day. And when I say give me Tannehill, it means I would rather stop Derrick Henry and let Ryan Tannehill try to beat me than the other way around. Because this is the formula for the Tennessee Titans. Run the football. Offensively, folks, let me just tell you this. Offensively, the Tennessee Titans are the perfect team I want the Bears to emulate, and the Bears never could do it, which is have a strong running game, right? Be a strong running team, have a quarterback that doesn't make mistakes, is athletic, outside the pocket, can create a little bit, play keep away, don't turn the football over. Like, that is the formula I wanted the Bears to play. Obviously, there's some personnel issues there, there's some play calling issues there, and stylistically, there's some issues there. But the Titans offensively, that's the way I wanted the Bears to play. So they play brilliantly, which is they know their strengths, they know their weaknesses. Their strength is Derrick Henry in the run game. If it was up to the Titans, they would run Derrick Henry on every single freaking play. Every single one. If you give them the opportunity, they will, all right? They don't care about Derrick Henry getting 30 rushes. They'll do it. So my point is this. We already know the interior of the Bears defense is a problem with our run defense, okay? We've already said that. It's been a problem the entire season. So if Derrick Henry destroys us by running the football all over us, which he's very capable of doing, the Bears lose this game. And I would rather us try to shut down Derrick Henry, even though that's a very tall task to ask, and let Ryan Tannehill try to beat us than the other way around, which is let Derrick Henry run wild on us and try to stop Ryan Tannehill. Obviously, you'd like to stop both, but again, pick your poison. So that's really how you want to defend this Tennessee Titans team. Try to stop Derrick Henry, sell out for the run, and let Ryan Tannehill try to beat you. I will take chances with our secondary, our corners, versus Ryan Tannehill all day. I'll do it, folks, but I'm not taking my chances with Derrick Henry, okay? And if I look at the games that Titans lost, just take a look. You will notice the trend. Last year against the Chiefs in the playoffs, how did they lose? They stopped Derrick Henry. He had less than 70 yards rushing. Against the Pittsburgh Steelers, how did the Steelers beat him? They stopped Derrick Henry. He had like 75 yards rushing. You keep him under like 80 yards, 90 yards, that's a win. Literally. You keep him under 100 yards, that's a victory because Derrick Henry gets 100 yards every single game. But that's the formula to beat the Titans, is to keep Derrick Henry under, 80, 90 yards, okay? If he goes off for 150, 175, or even 200, you're done. You have no shot. There's absolutely no shot. And Derrick Henry is the type of running back that will make your defense tired. Guys are going to get tired of tackling him. He gets stronger as the game goes on. That's the type of running back he is, okay? Now let's talk about the offense. All right, flip it on the other side. And how should the Bears attack the Titans defense? And I've told you, there's no funnel here, so there's not a preference here in terms of how you want to attack them. But I will say this. Offensively, we saw an improvement last week against the Saints. Versus the Rams, we were a mess. Against the Saints, I saw an improvement offensively, and you saw in the score output. You put up 23 points. Similarly, I need the Bears to build off of that. Matt Nagy, I need you to build off of it, and I need you to continue the improvement in play calling. All right? Balance here, mix of quick runs, passes, get guys in motion, make sure it's not too stagnant. No more Cordero Patterson. Are you listening, Matt Nagy? I hope you are. Try to build off of what you did against the Saints last week. I loved the play calling against the Saints last week. If we got that same type of play calling against the Titans, I think we can hang in there, and I think we can hopefully win this game. All right? So I need that same type of play calling, a good mix of run pass. Obviously, a lot of it's going to depend on the protection. The offensive line did better last week than the week prior, but again, how you call the plays is going to also determine how the line performs, because if you're calling 7-step drops, that's not going to be enough time for Nick Foles to go back and throw the football, get the ball out quick. They don't really have a pass rush, the Titans. Jadeveon Clowney's not been the guy as advertised. So you will have time in the pocket. Nick Foles will have time in the pocket, and that's why he has to pick apart this defense, which isn't very good. All right? So honestly, you can attack this Tennessee Titans team any which way. Just please don't get too cute, Matt Nagy. No Cordero Patterson on 3rd and 1s or 4th and 1s. You run on short yardage. Don't try to get too cute with the play calling. Just, again, build off of what you did against the Saints. Okay, so now comes time for my final score here. And taking a look, again, at the overall picture here, we've got a Tennessee team that is going to be very angry coming off of 2 straight losses at home. They're going to want, obviously, to take it out on the Bears. And the Bears are coming off 2 losses too. But again, as far as the team that's playing better right now, I would say it's the Titans, and it's very tough for me. I can absolutely see the Bears winning this game. I definitely can. I felt bad against the Saints, but I don't feel as bad against the Titans. The Bears can definitely win this game, but I have to be objective here. I think the Titans are going to be very angry that they lost to the Bengals. And again, just because they lost to the Bengals doesn't mean that, oh my God, the Bears are guaranteed to beat them. Remember, the NFL's weird. The Raiders have beaten the Chiefs before. It's weird. I think the Titans win this game, but it's going to be very, very close. I have the Bears losing 27-24. Again, if the Titans were not coming off of 2 straight losses, I think I would have picked the Bears to win, but they're just going to be so angry, and I'm not sure if we can stop Derrick Henry because he is a beast. All right, so again, folks, I told you this before you guys come at me all angry saying, Faiz, stop picking the Bears to lose. I always love being wrong when I pick the Bears to lose. That's the only time in my life I like being wrong is when I pick the Bears to lose. But I got to be objective here like I was last week when I picked the Bears to lose against the Saints. So I have the Bears losing here, 27-24. Let me know what you guys think. Still a winnable game. Don't get me wrong, but that's my score prediction. Leave a comment down below if you agree or disagree. As always, thanks for watching.